But very influential. If you look at the WrestleMania Fan Festival, what we do with Skankfest, like that was like one of the best memories. The WrestleMania Fan Festival, you show up, and it's not just fucking like autographs. They have a lot of interactive shit. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you're meeting the wrestlers, you do meet and greets and shit, but they're like doing fucking other things. There's like shows happening.
You know what's hilarious? Stan Hope goes on Rogan and brings up how cool Skankfest is.
This is ridiculous.
And then Rogan just shuts it down immediately and goes, "You should do your own fest."
Stan Hope's and he's trying to like have a nice pitch. It's a nice pitch. He's like, I did this festival. It's just the greatest thing ever. And Rogan's like, he was like, oh yeah. He's like, that's really probably because the comedy scene down in Houston's great. It's like, there's nothing to do with the comedy scene in fucking Houston.
It's nothing.
We booked 3 comics from Houston. We brought the fucking greatest comics from the world, mostly from New York City, to Houston and fucking did the most unique, fun, interactive, craziest comedy festival ever.
Yeah.
But Doug Stanhope should just steal the idea.
Yeah.
He should just take it.
Joe's like, you should do your own, man.
The same guy who assaulted Carlos Mencia for stealing a shitty Ari Shaffir joke. The shittiest Ari Shaffir joke that's ever been fucking written.
Well, he stole more than that.
I know. He stole a lot. He stole a lot.
Right.
But, you know.
That was a straw that
No, but I'm kidding. You know, Rogan's great.
No. We love him. But, I mean, it is funny that he was just like,
steal it.
do your own. Well, it's not steal it. He just said, do your own fest.
I think he's a little disconnected from what Skankfest is. I think he thinks like that's what Bert's doing.
By the way, I hope he's disconnected. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I hope he's disconnected from it.
Yeah, but I mean, like Bert, Bert's doing his own festival. It's not the same thing though.
Right.
It's not. There's nothing like Skankfest. You got to go and see it and know what it is in order to fucking.
And then what would you say the difference with Skankfest is? Is it people get raped?
It's a party. Well, yeah.
Right.
I mean, they don't tell.
Yeah. It's a party.
Dude,
here's the thing with Skankfest.
All things, the fucking whatever they call it, the Netflix is a joke festival.
Here's what I will say about Skankfest. It is an immersive experience.
Yeah.
Meaning that it is 3 days. It involves not only going to see stand-up, but you have like other events that comedians go to and will be at, and you can like mix with, you can meet
live
comics.
podcasters fighting, pro wrestling. There's fucking there's mechanical bulls and fucking games and beer pong tournaments, and it's stupid, dude.
It's a fun thing.
It's a fun thing.
It's a Woodstock for people that like podcasts.
And it's the best podcast fans in the world, best comedy fans of the world. They
love comedy.
They love
every time I've done a show at Skankfest, it's always been great. And every time we've done a live podcast at Skankfest, it's always been great. It's
gonna be stupid. We're gonna do Bastard Radio.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm forcing you.
It'll be fun. No, I'm doing it. I told you I would do it.
I know. I'm excited.
Absolutely, we'll do it.
Me and the great Nick Mullen. I think we're gonna do a state of the industry address as Bastard Radio.
Yeah.
So the biggest topics from the year we're gonna break down.
I just want to cover, please. If we do a state of the industry address, we got to carve out
Gringo Papi.
Who does what? I want to do LA. I want to do the LA.
I said we just...
No. I want to do the state of the LA podcast scene.
Oh, yeah.
As part of the state of the industry address at Skankfest.
Yeah.
You and Nick can do everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else.
That's yours. You cover
whatever.
You
New
cover
York.
LA.
You guys cover all of New York, television and film, every podcast in the world, other than. And you could also comment on the state of the LA podcast scene, of course.
Oh, of course.
But I would like to.
You need to lead it.
My expertise. I just want to do the state of the LA podcast scene, the great enduring scene that will never die.
Can we?
And it'll be called the LA podcast scene, the scene that will never die, and it will have the photos of the people who are currently in prison.
Tim, can we play word association LA comic scene?
Sure.
All right, ready? You got to just fire it off. Don't be a pussy. Whitney Cummings.
Drugs.
Bobby Lee.
Korean. I mean, it's the first thing that comes to mind.
Brian Callen.
Rough year.
Gringo Papi.
Kind of brilliant, kind of brilliantly funny in a way that no comedy special has ever been, because it's mysterious in a way, because you're looking at it and you're going like, there's a lot of choices made and you don't know why those choices were made.
Of course. Yeah. The Comedy Store.
Fine.
That's it. I can't name another word.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Well, here's what's amazing about the Gringo Papi. This is what's truly amazing about it, okay? Yes. You're watching it, and you're in kind of, you're in a little bit of disbelief.
Yeah.
Because it is, I wonder, and I know he's trying to get good at stand-up, and I respect the hell out of that. The question is, did it have to be a special?
No.
That's the real question.
No, it didn't.
And I'm not one of these guys who like,
That's not-
hates on Brendan.
that's not
Like,
shitting
he's
on
a
him.
nice guy, and I know he's trying to be, but the question is, with that particular thing, you go, did that have to be?
I said this on Real Life Podcast. He should have friends going, because here's the thing. He is a charming dude, right?
Yes.
And I think, I don't know at all, but I think there's probably something. He's probably funny. He probably makes his friends laugh, right?
Yeah, I think that he's really great at podcasting on that specific show for that audience.
Yeah.
Which they want MMA. There's an audience of people in America that want what he does, and he does it for them. I am not that audience.
Of course.
But that's fair.
But that's fair. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
We all go out.
'Cause I don't care about- yeah.
Everyone stinks at comedy for the first 5-10 years.
20, 30 years.
There's a fucking minimum of 5. That's if you get good and start getting shit
Under
at
5?
5, that's like fast.
It's rare.
That's fast.
One of the
Michael
only people
Che, like,
who's my best friend, and he's
Pete
one
Davidson.
of the people.
You're talking about guys that like they got like
It's rare.
very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. And you see it and you're like, God damn, those guys got good and they got good fast
Yeah.
and they started getting things.
I was pretty rare. I got pretty good pretty quickly, but again, I didn't really pop until I started doing this.
Yeah, of course.
That was what I needed to do.
So, but that's the thing. That's like
'Cause stand-up is kind of
shouldn't-
gay and
stand-up,
stupid.
When we came up, you didn't
Stand-up's kind of gay and dumb.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's when I watch Brendan do that, it's like I go, here's a big tough guy who I should just see in a Ferrari, and he should be able to rip people's faces off with his catcher mid hands. And I see him running around the stage going, oh. I go, you're gay now. You've become gay.
Why
are you gay?
He was a fucking knight. He was a knight.
He was a knight. He's a
and
knight.
now he's a jester.
Now he's gay.
He's a gay jester.
He's a gay man. He's a fully gay man. When you watch the special, he's like, woo! And you go, what? Why? What is this disease of? Maybe this should come out next week. What is this?
You're 6 foot. You're 6'6". You're an Adonis. You could beat up 99% of the people in the
You could kill men
world.
and fuck women, and you don't have to fuck these skanks at the comedy store. Fuck hot women.
Annie Letterman.
Fuck
What the fuck is wrong with you?
And he's fully gay on stage in Dallas in front of 45 people being like, the lion is at my door. It's just, it's puzzling.
It's when you don't need it. When you don't need it. But that's the thing. Like, I don't.
Well,
I feel bad
By the
shitting
way,
on his comedy because I don't shit on people's comedy.
No. Me saying you shouldn't be a comedian is the highest respect I can pay you.
Yeah.
If I look at you and go, you shouldn't really do comedy, it's me going, you are better than this.
Yeah.
I truly believe he's like better than this.
Yeah.
Until you start to do this.
This was nobody's A plan.
Nobody.
No, I wasn't a little kid being like, dude, I want to fucking dance like a monkey for strangers.
Right.
And pray to God that they like me and that they react to my words in a club.
Yes.
Or I won't feel anything.
That's right.
That's crazy. That's pathetic. Really, honestly.
Yeah.
If aliens came down and watched us doing comedy.
It's gay.
Making these sounds.
And I don't even mean gay like having sex with men. I mean like, it's just cringe.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah.
It's a little pathetic. I feel embarrassed that I need the validation of strangers, and others should too. And even though we make people happy, it comes from the need.
Yeah.
And I just feel like knowing that is.
I would give up your happiness for my happiness. Just
Right.
so everyone knows their happiness is inconsequential in this.
It means nothing to any. Like when people say to me, they're like, "Your podcast got me through the quarantine." I'm like, "You have no idea what it's done for me." I'm like, "I'm glad it's helped you, and it makes me feel good that it's helped them." But I'm like,
helped you cope with
to be honest,
your mom dying.
yeah, I'm like, I'm glad it helped you, but it really helped me.
Oh,
you know?
Oh, dude, I'm fucking having a weird fucking muscle spasm in my stomach
Why?
because I did sit-ups for the first time ever.
Oh,
Not ever, like yesterday.
but my point is that when I tell somebody, "Hey, stand-up may not be for you," it's not. It doesn't. It's not an egg.
No, it's not. And whatever. You just don't need to put out specials. David Tell puts out a special every 8 years.
And he's one of the greatest of all time.
Why is Brendan Shaw putting out 2 specials?
I don't even
within
love
2
the
years?
special that I just shot, and it's coming out because here's the deal. It's like I wrote the material 2 years ago. You saw the jokes 2 years ago at Vinnie Brand's Stress Factory. But my whole thing is I want to do it live as much as I can. So by the time the special comes out, a lot of it's topical. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I didn't love the audience. I didn't love it. It is what it is. But I whatever people want to do with their lives, they can do.
Yeah.
That's
Of course.
we live in America.
More power to them.
Yeah, we live in America.
More power to them.
Yeah, for sure. They're saying Finland is the happiest country in the world. Can you believe this? Finland, where children don't get shot, is the happiest country. Or maybe they do. I don't think they do. But the Finnish are the happiest people in the world, happier than the United States of America. This is what they're saying. This is the New York Times. It has been ranked the happiest nation on earth for 6 consecutive years. But in this article, they talk to the individual Finns who are, I don't know, they're not exuberant. They're satisfied. They're like relaxed. They go, yeah, we're cool. And I read this article. We're going to bring up some interesting parts of it. I don't know. Again, I'm not shocked that America's doesn't rank because, again, I've talked about the idea that very few people seem happy in America. Even happiness in America seems to be a frenetic kind of manic behavior. That's not like a Nordic, satisfied and relaxed person. It's like a manic junkie whose dealer has just called them back. That is happiness in America. It's like somebody very, very excited to tell you how good something's going for them. But it's not like that calm, cool, collected, deep satisfaction that maybe the Finnish have. So here in the article, on March 20th, the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network released its annual World Happiness Report. What an interesting thing, which rates well-being in countries around the world. For the 6th year in a row, Finland was ranked at the very top. They keep winning. They always win. But when they interview them individually, they go, I wouldn't say that I consider us very happy, said Nina Hansen, 58, a high school English teacher from a mid-sized city on Finland's west coast. I'm a little suspicious of that word, actually, which I am too, Nina. They spoke to about a dozen Finns, a Zimbabwean immigrant, a folk metal violinist, a former Olympian, and a retired dairy farmer about what supposedly makes Finland so happy. Our subjects ranged in age from 13 to 88 and represented a variety of genders, sexual orientations, ethnic backgrounds, and professions to get a full picture of how happy Finnish people are. They came from Kola, as well as the capital Helsinki, Turku, a city on the southwestern coast, and 3 villages in southern, eastern, and western Finland. And I read the article, and what it comes down to is they like nature, they like welfare, and they're satisfied with very little, which is good. But that's how you get happy, right? They enjoy nature. They actually enjoy it. Like Americans don't really enjoy nature unless we're destroying it or we're using it for our own gain. Nature in America, for the most part, has kind of been ruined. Like we do have Yellowstone. We have some beautiful national parks. But most nature is just, it's hanging on by a thread. The fires are always burning down. There's droughts everywhere. The lakes aren't at a high level. So nature in America takes a back seat. There are people that go out and do things in nature, but a lot of times that's murder or rape. I mean, it's not always, there's people that go out and don't kill in the natural environment, but it's not our main thing. Like our main thing is not the nature. Like we have some pretty nature, but our main thing is like the cities, the vibe, the clubs, the drugs, the money, the cars, And in Finland, they like a tree. Like they like seeing green grass. We take nature and put it on the outside. Like we take fake moss and put it on the outside of buildings, or we take trees and rip them out of the ground and put them inside of a hotel lobby. We dominate nature, which I think is good. Like we don't let nature, we're not going to be nature's bitch, Like there's a lake in Austin called Lake Travis, which is heinous. It's a heinous lake. It's a man-made lake, and it looks like it's in a crater, like an asteroid hit the Earth, and there's a crater. And it's blue, because it's limestone on the bottom. It gives it that nice color. And they buy water from Lake Mead and they buy water from Colorado and they direct it via the dam into this Lake Travis, which is a heinous lake, kind of. I mean, when you look at it, and the drought has made the lake so that the lake is not even full. It's kind of like, it's like the levels of the lake aren't good. So people go out and they go on boats and they get hammered and they drink, and there's a place called Hippie Hollow where they get naked and everybody's like screaming and yelling. And, this is a fun summer activity, but it's not really about the lake, right? Like it's just about like we've created this big slip and slide for adults to just, to take part in. Like it's about us. It's not about the lake. We don't really give a shit about the lake. We care about our ability to use the lake to get drunk, to use drugs, to drive fast on boats and have fun water sports. But that's what America views nature. It's like an impediment to our having a good time. It's like the lake, last year, the lake levels were low. People didn't care. They're like, fuck it. It's just, hey, the lake's our bitch. And it's a heinous lake, not a nice lake. It's not a naturally occurring lake. It's a man-made lake. We make lakes and we put some fish in them and we go out there and do it. Go out there and get drunk, get on the boat, and there's nothing wrong with it. Get on the fucking jet skis, have fun. But we make nature to please us. Whereas the Finnish people, the Finns, go to nature and their depression is lifted because they're in nature, and I don't know what they do out there in it, but apparently they like it. They also have a very strong social safety net. Well, they're saying there are psychological benefits of nature in Finland, that these people, there's psychological benefits of nature, like they go to nature and they feel better about themselves. They also have a nice welfare state, so nobody's cast out of society for not performing. So rather than happy, they are more likely to characterize Finns as quite gloomy, a little moody, and not given to unnecessary smiling. So these are different types of people. They're Nordic. They don't have that kind of manic highs and lows that Americans have, but they have sustainable lives. Like their idea of success is being able to meet basic needs. That's the big difference between those Nordic countries and America. They want like basic needs, a little house, a little fish, and a few potatoes, a little family, and they have art for art's sake. No one gives a shit about what the Finnish do. They don't have a Finnish ice spice. They have just this for the sake of it. They have it for the sake of it. Like nothing in America is for the sake of it. Nothing. If you ain't trying to get big, it's not worth it in America. Nobody's enjoying anything. Everybody in the back of their head is thinking that whatever the hell they're doing is going to lead to something else. The Finnish don't believe that. So the Finnish enjoy music and entertainment, but they enjoy it for the sake of it, as opposed to Americans who are like trying to get their kids on the line for American Idol so the kids can get famous and they can retire. Like Americans just are chasing fame and chasing money. This is part of our culture. We want fame and we want money. We don't really care about nature. That does not do anything for us. We want fame and we want money. And if we're not famous and rich, we want our kids to be famous and rich. The Finns don't feel like that. They want their kids to have a little house, a little fish, and little potatoes. And that's fine with them. That's a nice way to live. America, we want our kids to be famous first and rich. We want our kids to be big time. Big time. We want to tell people like, that's my kid. We don't care if they have face tattoos, if they're on drugs. We don't care if their lives are ruined. We don't care if they're in debt to record companies. We don't care if Hollywood is molesting them. We don't care if they're being exploited by everyone in their lives. We don't care if literally their manager and agent are stopping them from killing themselves and throwing them back out on stage. None of that matters to us. As long as they are famous and rich, that is fine. That is fine. And then the next step, if they're not famous and rich, is like, good job that you can tell people about, a decent house, big house, nice wife, nice kids. Like, look at that. But first and foremost, we'd like them to be famous and rich. And the Finns aren't doing this. Their lives are not built on this unsustainable rat race that Americans are in. Americans are constantly in this rat race of being the best at everything, the most successful, putting in the most time, getting the big job, getting the corner office, getting the big house and the pool and the cars. But the Finnish people, but again, I don't know what's better. I don't know what's better. I don't know what's better. Is it better to have a little house with a little fish and the little potatoes, and it's a tiny little house and no one really speaks? They speak occasionally. Or is it better to live in a McMansion where everybody in their rooms is plotting against everybody else and they're plotting to try to get their lives where they want them to be? I don't know. I don't know what's better. Do you want to live in a place where you get excited by something as stupid and gay as nature? Is that like something that you want to be a part of? I mean, it's easy to say that, yes, Americans are sick and our value system is wrong. It is. And, everything, and our country's rotted. It has. But the flip side of it is, like, the Finns have never had any impact culturally on the world. And you could say, well, America's impact is now negative. Well, maybe I'd agree with you. But we've certainly done some good things. I mean, name me a Finnish movie, or something in terms of music. I mean, I don't know. It's not as easy to just say, like, hey, the Finnish are the happiest people in the world, and we should all take a page out of their book. I don't know. I don't know if that's just easy to say as people believe. Like, if people really want to do that. So listen to this. This is interesting, and this goes right to my point. Public funding for education in the arts, including individual artist grants, gives people like his wife, Herta, a mixed media artist, the freedom to pursue their creative passions. It also affects the kind of work that we make because we don't have to think of the commercial value of art, said Mr. Kiski. So a lot of what these artists make here is very experimental. Listen, Herta sucks. And she's making a lot of crap. And the reality is the government's funding that crap, and there's nothing wrong with that on its face. But the reality is it's not good. Mixed media art is rarely good. And there's no way that this bitch is doing anything good. There's no way. There's no way that, first of all, I know some of the biggest losers in the world. If you were to give them grants from the government to make sure so that they didn't have to work and they could just make art, it would not make the art good. It wouldn't. It would relieve the financial burdens on them, but that wouldn't necessarily make them valuable as artists. So, I mean, can we get some of Herta? Is there anything that we can see here from Herta, the Finnish mixed media artist? Because I want to be proven wrong, but I have a sneaky suspicion that it's a waste of everybody's time. It could be, Herta. Here it is. Herta Kiski. Herta Kiski. Now, I could be wrong here, but this is what you get in a country with a social safety net where people, are, satisfied. And I'm not. So what is this? What am I even looking at? What is it? I kind of like that.
This is called After the End.
I kind of like that. That's not bad. After the End.
What do you even see here?
Well, it's like a picture of, I don't know, but it's not horrible. Well, now go up there. What is this with the two? What is that? 2 eggs?
Oh, boy.
This is what you do when you don't have to think of the commercial value of art. and everybody's satisfied to just loaf around and eat a little fish and little potatoes. What else? What other masterpieces? What is that, a torture chamber?
I think it's like
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, are you trading this? Are you trading Tina Turner or Elvis or Biggie for this, for Herta? Let's be honest. These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Is that what we want? Do we want a society where we don't have Run DMC, but we have this, where this bitch took scrunchies and put them on a metal pipe and is calling this art, and that's what the government pays for? The government pays for this bitch to put scrunchies on a metal pipe and call it art, and that's what they pay for. You know what I think would make her better? Working at Taco Bell for minimum wage and then fighting her way out of that. Sorry, Herta. I'm dead serious about this. I know that I was talking to the flight attendant about this on American. I was telling her I was going to do this, and she finally told me to sit down. She had to prepare a service. She goes, I got to get the card out. And I said, well, listen, I had a great flight attendant today on American, real dark lady. I'm like, I paid $40 for a more space seat. She goes, well, we don't have any. So so I'm in the last seat of the plane with her. So she goes, you might get a refund. She goes, I'll send you some free miles. I go, ugh. She goes, you think you're having a bad day? She goes, I wasn't even supposed to be on this flight. She goes, the flight attendant who was, her husband killed herself. They've been married 2 years, and he killed himself in his ex-wife's garage. And I'm like, okay, do we have the cheese plate? What are the snacks? Okay. I said to her, we start talking. She goes, the other day we took off, we hit wind shear when we took off. She goes, you hit wind shear, the whole plane goes to the side. She goes, there was a scream. She goes, but she used these words. She goes, there was a blood-curdling scream as the plane took off. She goes, we got about maybe 3,000 feet up, and it just, and she goes, the pilot got on right away and was like, hey, it's wind shear. We're going to be okay. And I said to her, I go, you ever just fucking, like, they call it ferrying the plane when nobody's on? I'm like, you ever just go up to first class when you got nobody on the plane? She goes, she smiled. She goes, yes. Just one time we all got to sit in first class. One time we had 4 people on this plane, and we all got to go right into the front and sit in first class. And I was like, when was that? She goes, 4 days after 9/11. With a big smile on her face. The thing about flight attendants is they've made peace with death, because it's a very unnatural job to just work 30,000 feet in the sky. All of those flight attendants, they've seen death. They all do drugs. They have these stopovers. They all get hammered, and all the pilots do drugs. It's a horrible job. We don't pay those people. And it's a living hell. They live in an absolute hell, and they have to get on every day and go, hi, welcome. Is everyone happy we're going to Phoenix? Is everyone excited we're going to Phoenix? Southwest can dress it up all they want, and they can have the people come out and try to do stand-up, and the pilots try to be funny. And the flight attendants try to be funny, but I know what it really is. I know it's a bunch of people who've made peace with death. That's who works on planes. Okay? This is Francis Ellis, used to be from Barstool Sports before he made fun of the dead. And now, where are you? If people like you and want more of your thing, where can they find it?
Yeah.
If someone goes, my sister was just murdered and I want you to get her, where can they get you? Where can they hire you to do a roast of the dead?
On my podcast.
Lovely.
It's called Oops the Podcast.
Oops the Podcast.
It's Giulio Gallerati.
Harkening back to.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oops the Podcast. And social media wise, if they want to find you.
Francis Ellis, you'll find me on
You'll
Instagram,
find
Twitter.
Take it away. This song's amazing.
Thanks, Tim. Cop pulled me over and asked why I was speeding. I said I'm headed to the mountain for a big day of skiing. He said, I figured it was that from the skis on your rack. And then we both kind of chuckled as he handed me back my license registration. Told me try to slow down, we've got a lot of people speeding through the stretch of our town. I promised that I would, I said I understood, and I always try my best to drive the way that I should. He said goodbye, enjoy the slopes, and I drove off down the road. But when I got around the bend, I put the pedal to the floor. And when I finally arrived, I was greeted by a sight that made me shiver and quiver and shake with fright. 'Cause the line at the chairlift was 50 people long. By the time I took my first run, all the powder was gone. All because some local cop had to flex on me. I'm just another victim of brutality. Brutality. It can happen to you if it happened to me. I understand the nuances of brutality. The winter is a time of darkness, when the sun goes down early and everyone is heartless. The days are short and the nights are long, and you'll wake up with the feeling that it's all going wrong. When you feel like you're stuck in a hole, and your brain starts to tell you it can't take anymore, and you no longer care to learn what lies around the bend. So you start to think of ways to bring your life to an end. Don't. Instead, take a trip to Tulum. Find a beach in Turks and Caicos. Snorkel a lagoon. Find that good weed in Jamaica. Buy a house in Southampton, Tim. Get that going. Put your worries on the shelf. The purpose of MLK weekend is to utilize your wealth. Spend it on yourself. There's no price on mental health. Don't kill yourself. A-L-L-Y, I'm a motherfucking ally. I know just what you're going through, and I feel it too. And I'm here for you, online all the time. Every day around the world, a woman gets robbed. She makes 30% less for the same exact job. She endures the horny glances, the delusional advances. Guys like, hi, my name is Francis from the toxic male mob. But the time has now come to bring the wage gap to an end. Time to rip down these structures that were only built for men. Time to take a wrecking ball to the ancient patriarchy. Say your boss sent you a dick pic at the holiday party. A-L-L-Y, I'm a motherfucking ally. I know just what you're going through, and I feel it too. And I'm here for you, online all the time. L-G-B-T-Q, she, her, he, him, they, their. Animals are friends, not food. Jada Pinkett's lack of hair, and me too. Save Ukraine, put a stop to Asian hatred, microplastics, overfishing, bloggers who joke about missing women, manspreading on public transit, Leah Thomas, UPenn swimming, NAACP, border family separations, Joe Rogan's misinformation, spreading fears of vaccination, cultural appropriation, Louis C.K.'s masturbation. Me, look at me, I'm so full of empathy. I'm on the right side of history. Just like and share my tweets like A-L-L-I. I'm a motherfucking ally. I know just what you're going through, and I feel it too. And I'm here for you, online all the time. Thank you.
Francis Ellis, everybody. We love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for changing your life. Thank you for changing your life and realizing that there's a lot of good that can be done.
Yes.
There's a lot of good that can be done, and you're doing it.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah,
I didn't have a choice.
No, you're trying, and that's important.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Go find this guy on social media. Go listen to his podcast. Francis Ellis, thank you so much, brother.
See you guys.
Speaking of wars, the military is now doing this thing that it's done many times before. Recruitment in the military is off. Nobody wants to join the military right now because everybody has kind of sniffed out what's going on. Nobody really believes like anything that the government says about why the military does anything it does. So what tends to happen is when you have this like crisis, you basically have a ton of young people now that go, you know, I'll do other things. I'll get into crypto. I'll figure it out. I'll build a YouTube channel. I don't know. But nobody wants to be in the military anymore. So the military is now claiming that it is woke, that it's too woke. This is what the response is. That's why nobody wants to join. It's not because we've seen Afghanistan and Iraq and all of these things and everybody is fed up. It's because the military apparently is too woke, meaning that when you join it, I don't know what happens. They cut your dick off or... So the Army missed its recruiting goal by about 15,000 new soldiers in 2022, coming up about 25% short of its goal at a time when each of the services was struggling to meet their benchmarks. Military officials worry that all of the branches have had to reach deep into their pools of delayed entry applicants, which we know who that is, right? It's, you know, these are the people that really don't need to be in it. They don't add much. These are the people who we go, yeah, we'll let you in depending on how bad things get. But for now, go home. Like if you show up to the recruitment with your own battle plan drawn out and it involves your own town, they go, you go back home, keep doing stuff in the yard, do some sit-ups and push-ups in the yard, and we'll get you back when we need it. So the delayed entry applicants are like cops that I guess have been thrown out of the police force for shooting black people and, you know, just the people that show up and you don't want to take them right away. You go, you guys just, maybe they have medical things, you know, I have seizures, you go, whatever. So now we're going to have to start using them. Military recruiters have leaned on tried and true factors to explain the challenges, including low unemployment and a dearth of applicants up to physical, educational, and behavioral standards. Because remember, to join our military, you have to be a brilliant, good person who's never had any behavioral problems. But the truth is, I love this article, and this is from Military Times, because I get it. They're trying to, you know, this is okay. But the truth is, no one keeps detailed data on what's stopping America's youth from signing up. Yeah. I think people have, it's called 19 fake wars. Experts and senior military leaders point to the perennial factors of competition from the private sector and a dwindling number of young Americans both qualified and interested in military service. But what they don't have too much information on is why the propensity is going down and whether the country is undergoing an ideological shift towards military service. One possibility, this is Senator Tommy Tuberville, a Republican from Alabama. Tommy Tuberville has figured it out. The military is too woke. And apparently, people that want to go die in foreign countries don't want to be woke. And they're afraid that if they join the military, instead of being immediately sent to their death, they'll be made to read literature about trans people. I don't know. So Tommy Tuberville says the military is too woke. For example, the Republican from Alabama, I believe, maybe Alaska, I think it's Alabama, for example, is among a group of Republican senators who have repeatedly blamed recruiting problems on the Biden administration for trying to build a woke army. The director of the National Defense at the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, recently opined that wokeness is the, quote, chief worry of grizzled American veterans today. Is that true? Could that... Could that possibly be true? Listen to the word. Wokeness is the, quote, chief worry of grizzled American veterans today. You know, how many people get back from these wars and kill themselves because they don't have, like, you know, like mental health care? They have suffering from PTSD. They can't be employed because they try to get a job as a security guard at McDonald's, but they're trained in the military. So no matter what happens, they start being overly aggressive, like grabbing people. And they're like, whoa, calm down. Like, you know, but their chief problem, suicide, not it. drug and alcohol abuse, not it. The chief problem if you are a grizzled American veteran. I love the word grizzled. Grizzled American veterans, meaning people who've seen and done things, it's like, that haunt them. Their main wokeness is the main problem. Quote, the largest threat they see by far to our current military is the weakening of its fabric by radical, progressive, or woke policies being imposed, not by a rising generation of slackers, but by the very leaders charged with ensuring their readiness. Wokeness in the military is being imposed by elected and appointed leaders in the White. And I don't even, by the way, what is the wokeness in, like, does it say anything about what the wokeness is? What is the wokeness? Like, if you join, like, how gay has the military gotten? Like, I haven't been paying attention, but, like, how woke is it? Okay, in reality, service members spend hundreds of hours a year on mandatory training, covering everything from operational safety to financial responsibility and suicide and sexual assault prevention, with a tiny fraction of that focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion education. So I'm wondering what exactly in the military is super woke. I know that they're bringing in new programs, I guess, but what is, like, I think one of them is just like, let's keep the assault down, because there's a lot of sexual assault. So they're like, just keep it. They're cutting back on rape. Yeah, well, that's woke. But I think that, I don't know, are they doing like drag shows in the like, do they do drag queen story hour in the barracks? Like, do these guys have to sit through? I'm trying to, in my head, wonder, like, what exactly the woke military is. I could be wrong. By the way, if you're in the military, let me know that I could be wrong. Tell me what happened. Tell me what so offended you that was going on in the military. I don't know. Wait, hold on. This is a picture of a woman. This might be getting it. Here's a picture of a woman. She's on the ground. She's wearing a COVID mask. Okay, this is heading in the woke direction. Maybe I'm wrong. This is the point in the show where I go, perhaps I'm wrong. A U.S. military academy cadet practices physical training at the Army Combat Fitness Test during cadet basic training at West Point. Okay, so it's a woman. It's a picture of a woman, and she's, okay. But what seems to incense people is that the issue of racial disparity is discussed at all, not that it's truly cutting into time spent on training. So I guess they're doing some more of like the race classes. When Marine Corps Reserve Colonel Matthew F. Amadon, Director of Veterans and Military Families at the George W. Bush Institute, well, he did a lot for the confidence in the military, wrote a commentary arguing that veterans to help during the recruiting process by recommending military service to their kids and other young people. Military Times is inundated with hundreds of emails from veterans saying they would do no such thing. Their reasons are varied, but most said wokeness is to blame. Their reasons are varied. Many of the people we sent to kill people in the fake war that we didn't really pay, and they won't have their kids and grandkids do it, and their reasons are varied, but most said wokeness. Interesting. They accuse the military of becoming too political or a social experiment. I'll be blunt. I wouldn't encourage anyone to join today's armed forces, and I discouraged both of my sons from considering serving, wrote Peter Dimas, who described himself as a third-party generation veteran. Quote, America's military leaders have been sold out the services for their own advancement and reflect all the poorest qualities of civilian leadership. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But what is going on? Can you find anything about, like, an example of, like, the military going crazy with wokeness? Because with a woke military, because there is something here. Something's going on. Oh, you know, I think they're overblowing it. But there's something that this is based on, and I just can't. I don't know what it is. I know there's women in the military, there's gay people in the military, there's trans people in the military. So we know that. But I'm wondering what exactly is so over the top. Maybe they're just teaching these annoying classes. And it's like you should have a cohesive unit. You shouldn't have like this weird equity and inclusion. I don't even know why you're all going to die, and we're sending you to die, and we don't even really know why. Soon it's for the Ukraine. So With a woke military whose most senior officer is concerned about white rage, he's a little bit of a clown, that guy. I've seen him. He likes attention. That's that general who's always like, I want to know why white people. He's like auditioning for an HBO Max like comedy special. He's like, I want to know why. It's just this guy. I forget his name, but he's a big general, and he's very critical. And he's like, I want to know why white people hate. I want to know why my people hate. And like they love him. The New York Times, like everybody frames him up on the cameras. You're like, he's great. So here we go. This is what they're talking about. With the woke military's most senior officers concerned about white rage, searching for a tattletale process is to discover and discharge white extremists. They want to discharge white extremists from the military. Blaming it on toxic masculinity, discharging real warriors for not getting vaccinated. Disagree with that. They should not have done that. That's so stupid. Having a 2-day stand down to discuss white extremism, that seems in itself extreme. The promotion and expansion of women in combat. Yeah, just put them in there. See what happens. Some of them will be okay. Lowering physical fitness standards to accommodate naturally weaker women. Well, you know, if you want to be in the military and you're a woman, let them in. And yeah, they're not going to be able to do the same things men do, but they can kill children. Women can kill babies, right? I mean, I don't think it's a problem. Recruiting with social justice and diversity ads. So I don't know. Listen, I get it. It gets a little annoying if you signed up in the military and you're like, listen, just let me at least here, let me just fight and die and don't annoy me, which I agree with. Like, stop with the diversity, inclusion. Like, everybody in the military is the same. They've all joined. Many of them didn't have other options. You don't have to divide them along the lines of race or sex or whatever you're doing. Just let them all go and fight in the Ukraine. They don't have to. I don't know. Pregnant women are going to fight our wars. It's a mockery of the U.S. military. Who said that? Tucker Carlson said that? There are people that are not trusting the process with my new business venture, which kind of is upsetting me. Many people know that I'm a comedian. We've kind of established that already. But what people don't know is that's not my real passion. My real passion has always been jewelry. And I've seen the look on someone's face when you give them something that is special and unique. And to me, what that is a perfectly set stone. Perfectly set stone. It could be topaz, could be one of the other ones. And jewelry has been my passion. Now, a lot of people are like, they're not. We have a mail order jewelry business called Jewels by podcaster Tim Dillon. A lot of people have given us a lot of money and are now getting angry at us because the jewels haven't showed up at their home for them to sell. Now, this is the type of amateur bullshit that I expect from some of these people. This is amateur hour, okay? Number one, you don't need the physical jewels to sell. You can get out there and you're selling a lifestyle. You're selling an idea. You're selling an identity. So you're going to get the jewels. They're coming. But I fear for many of you because the complaints are so unnecessary. And I just feel like a lot of you aren't taking it seriously. You have one job when you sell Jewels by podcaster Tim Dillon. You have to convince people that they are not happy because they don't have the right jewelry. And you also have to convince them that they need to sell jewelry for me and you and this whole I'm trying to start a company here. And a lot of people don't take me seriously. I'm trying to start a goddamn company, an operation. And I just feel like a lot of you are ungrateful because many of you have no idea how to be an entrepreneur. And I am a businessman. That's what I've been since I'm a little baby boy. I've been a business boy forever in my whole life. All of my existence has been business. Crunching numbers, chopping the onions, making it work, fitting a square peg into a round whatever. The point is, I don't need your fucking ungrateful mouth. Oh, the kit isn't here. The jewel kit's not here. Improvise, you stupid bitch. Figure it out. It's going to get there. It's on its fucking way. You're going to get it. Also, we're coming up with the sales strategy because I realize that many of you need much more help than I'd anticipated, which is okay. I want to give you that help. But many of you are not salespeople. You're not closers. I can hear it in your voices. I can hear it in your emails that are rage filled. When you send me an email and you're like, I spent all this money. I haven't been given any guidance or any help. I don't even have the jewels. Where are the jewels? I'm telling everyone I'm selling jewelry for you and I can't even do it. You know, all I hear is failure. And I don't know, is that who you are? Is that who you want to be? That's not who I want to be. That's not what I am. So we're doing a seminar in an Arizona Hilton or Marriott. We're going to see. And it's going to be 3 days. It's going to be a 3-day intensive sales training seminar. We're going to train you on the product. You got to get trained on the product. Then you got to get trained on the strategy. And then once you have the product and the strategy, you're good to fucking go. Okay? Product plus strategy, sales strategy. Okay? Now I'm going to show you. This is an example. And again, you're not going to be at the level I'm at for a very long time, maybe never. But if you listen to me, I've invited Ben to lunch. Ben is someone I have not seen in a very long time. I've invited him to lunch by messaging him on Facebook. We do a lot of our ads on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Stay away from Twitter. Stay away from Instagram. Stay away from, God forbid, TikTok. Stay on Facebook. What I like about Facebook is that Zuckerberg, they're not trying to verify everything on there. They're just letting it fly, which I think is very important for a small business that's just starting. So I messaged Ben and I want to get lunch with him. Now I don't bring up Jules by podcaster Tim Dillon in the message. I just reconnect with him authentically. And he agrees to have lunch with me at the local diner. Now we've done some of our bullshitting and now it's the time when I'm going to pounce. The word is pounce, like a puma would, like a big cat. Have you ever seen a big cat fuck something up with his paw? Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing, but we're helping people. Do you understand that? I'm helping him, but because he is so lost, I need to paw him like a large cat would to help him. Now, so this is the time when I'm going to do it. This lunch has been very good. I've enjoyed it.
It was great.
Yeah, it's
so good.
It's very good. I like rye bread.
Me too. It's wonderful. So nice to see you. I haven't seen you since high school.
How's things?
It's pretty good, you know. I think could be better though, not gonna lie.
Well, let me tell you a story. Do you want to hear a story? You have time for a story?
I'd love to hear one. I have nothing to do.
When I was a young child, I became obsessed with jewelry. I would steal it, I would wear it, and I would sell it. Mm-hmm. And even though looking back on that now, that seems immoral, what it did was give me a real understanding of the market for jewels. I have an opportunity for you. I have a company right now that I haven't told anybody about because I'm still trying to decide who's worthy about knowing about it. It's called Jewels by podcaster Tim Dillon. Now, I see your face and you're surprised and you're shocked. And I think maybe you feel a little lucky. You seem to feel a little lucky. You're not wrong to be lucky. What I want you to do is I want you to go into your community. I want you to go to your family, your friends, people who trust you, people who you've built rapport with over your entire life, and sell them jewelry that I have provided for you to sell them. I get my jewelry from the best jeweler. I won't tell you where.
Okay.
But have you seen the movie Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
Him. There's nothing like the look on someone's face when you marry them to a perfectly set stone. Mm-hmm. Many people aren't happy in their life. They're fat and they're on heroin. And the reason that this is the case is because God is dead And the country is shit now. Even though it's kind of good, it's still shit. But one thing that always glitters brightly is a jewel. And everybody wants it. That's why, do you remember Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Yeah.
What were the dwarfs doing?
They were mining for little jewels.
That is the oldest story in America. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Really?
Yes. So in the beginning, there were jewels. There will always be jewels. And when you have to make people understand how lucky they are to be in the unique position of being sold jewelry over the phone or in person at their house. Because you say, you could take a trip, Mrs. Miller. When I go into a sale, I go, hello, Mrs. Miller. You could go anywhere and buy jewelry, but you're not buying it from a trusted name, and you're not buying it from somebody that has a passion. So what are you really doing? You're being stupid. And if you're stupid, you're going to fail. But I don't fail, I win. Because I'm not stupid, I'm smart. My jewels are bright. They shine. Remember the rap song, Shine Like the Diamond?
Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond. That's not the way it goes, but I like the way I'm doing it a little better. Shine bright like a diamond. The best thing about these jewels is I'm not only selling them to you, I'm selling them to you so that you can sell them to other people.
So you're trying to help me.
I want to help you. I want to help you create a revenue stream. I don't want you to have to get up and work a 9-to-5 job like some dumb pig. I want you to be able to create your own business and your own opportunities. I want you to have multiple revenue streams. I want you to have a sales strategy that works for you. I want you to put your tentacles into the community and choke people very softly so that they understand that Jules by podcaster Tim Dillon is the fucking thing that is going to be the thing that's going to happen. What a fun world we're living in. If somebody came to you 3 years ago and said, Gary Busey will be president and people will be attacking each other in the street with Big Macs, they would have been so close to where we are. Like they would have been a little one dimension off where we are.
Yeah.
We've got Trump and we've got milkshakes. And now people are debating, do the milkshakes have cement in them?
Yeah.
Do they have dried cement
like
in them?
acid burning off people's faces?
Yes. Have the milk? Of course, in this fat country, it's a dessert-themed revolution. You know? The anti-fascists are chucking brownies at the Nazis. That's how you know a lot of this is bullshit.
Yeah.
They don't even believe. If they're Nazis, I'm going to get in trouble for this. But if they're Nazis, kill them.
Right.
You don't think they're Nazis.
Yeah.
You're throwing milkshakes. There's never in history did throwing a milkshake do anything.
Right.
You don't believe they're Nazis.
Yeah.
That's number one. I don't believe anybody truly believes this gay Asian journalist who wrote some articles that people didn't like is a Nazi. All of these people think they're in a movie, but what they think this guy, because to treat him like that, to beat the shit out of him in the middle of the street, they have to believe the guy's Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
They have to really believe, or he's going to help the next Adolf Hitler. Like, they fancy themselves as characters in a movie, but what they don't realize is, like, everyone in the movie can't be the villain. Like, the villain can't be every single everyone in Narnia was not the White Witch.
Right.
It wasn't the way that it worked. Like, there's a villain and people around that villain, but not every human being you don't like is the symbol of ultimate evil.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Had you seen anything about this, like, on Twitter? There's a lot of people, like, defending it.
Yeah. Did this Andy Nago guy?
Yeah, Andy
this
Nago.
Asian Nazi.
Mullen was funny. Nick Mullen was like, I don't know if I can say his last name. Because it is. You're like, what?
I know. I just saw that he was getting attacked and thrown shit at. And
all of these people, their first tweet is like, Andy is a racist, anti-Muslim, blah, blah, blah.
And then their second tweet is like, and I abhor violence. I will say that I abhor violence. I would never encourage violence. But for my first tweet in this thread, I would like to point out everything wrong with this man who's bleeding on the floor. Let's just let that out right now. Here are my problems with the victim. Can you imagine any other situation?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A rape victim. Well, let me tell you about Tasha. She was a little stupid. She would go home with these boys late at night. She was no Jackie Kennedy. Now I abhor rape. Do not support rape. Do not like rape.
Yes, exactly.
But I will tell you this. Tasha, man, would she just get in a fucking car with anybody? That whore had it coming. If anyone had it coming, it was her. But tweet number 2. Listen, consent is real, and I abhor and I disavow any rape. But let me just get 4 or 5 things out that I feel about Tasha.
What does this guy do? Who is he? He's a gay Asian guy, and he's like a Nazi?
No, he's one of these guys that he writes for Quillette. I looked into some of the things that he did. Listen, the guy is allowed to be wrong.
Right.
He's allowed to write things you don't like.
Yeah.
I don't understand at what point a switch was flipped in people's head where they were like, I can no longer exist on the same planet with a human being who is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, and listen, I haven't read all of his articles. Supposedly, he made a list of journalists and gave it to Adam Waffen. Adam Waffen's like a neo-Nazi group in Europe.
Okay.
So they're all like, well, this is justified because he's endangering us, blah, blah, blah. I did not look into that. I do not have that. Do not send me information on that. I don't care. Please. Don't send me like a fuck. No, not actually.
Right.
Actually.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I'm not for people getting attacked and brutalized in the street that you don't like or that you disagree with. This does not. Where do you think this leads? Do these people think that conservatives eventually don't just bring guns to these rallies? That's the next step?
Yeah.
Is more violence. Right now, it's not that funny because people are getting hurt, but it's kind of funny because it's Milkshake.
No, it's still funny.
But the next step, which would be Syria, isn't funny. Like, there's no one tweeting in Syria about the gas attacks and how funny they are.
Right.
You know? Like, there's no blue checks in Syria being like, LOL, like being deeply ironic about watching their kids, you know, take some gas to the face from fucking whoever's doing that.
Yeah. Using it as an opportunity to get a job on SNL.
They're less, humor is less of a way to combat things in Venezuela right now. But in America, it doesn't really affect any of us. Like, if it goes beyond this to where it's full scale, real issues, I think the government just comes in and shuts down the party.
Yeah.
Which I think is what will happen anyway.
Yeah.
And my little conspiracy mind goes off and goes, there's probably FBI agents in the alt-right and in Antifa and in any serious anti-government movement in the last 50 years has had FBI people from COINTELPRO. Every single one has had FBI agents that were stirring the pot, that were, basically trying to foment this type of these type of events. I'm not saying this is what happened here, but what it does is it discredits any of these movements. I mean, the Black Panthers, whatever they are, you bring in a few guys from the feds who are like, it's not enough. We got to do more.
Right.
We got to go 100, and then you start losing the country. People are like, well, wait a minute. This seems a bit odd.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's bananas discussing this with people because you're like, okay, riddle me this. Go attack, and again, not saying to do this, but wouldn't it make more sense to attack ICE?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. They think every one of these journalists they throw a milkshake at like a kid gets released from a cage.
These are also the people that supposedly care about the poor and these kids in the camps. Bring the milkshakes to the kids. I bet the kids would like a milkshake. If I was I'm not even in a cage, and I would like a milkshake. I can't can't imagine if I was in a cage, which I'm against, don't start with me, and somebody handed me a milkshake through the bars,
Right.
I would be pretty happy that you didn't waste a milkshake on some fucking guy that wrote an article you didn't fucking like. You're throwing away perfectly good food you could give to the poor of Portland.
Yeah.
Or some white people in a failed band or whoever who's ever really struggling over there in Portland.
Yeah.
But so these again are like all these, you start to realize that some people just want some type of civil war.
Mm-hmm.
They have meaningless lives.
Yeah.
And they fetishize violence because it's not real violence. It's kind of this violence that is controlled to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like all out open total war.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here's a journalist that we can pummel.
Right.
Or here's some Proud Boys that we get in a scuffle or whatever.
Yeah.
And these people, I think they think they're part of this revolutionary struggle.
Yeah.
But they're really not, because nobody cares.
Yeah. They're
Like-
taking an Uber to the revolution.
Yeah, well, of course. They're taking
It's
an Uber.
ridiculous.
They're taking an Uber to the revolution. But it's peak insanity.
Yeah.
Today on Twitter, people like, you see a guy making milkshakes. And people go, what's on the bucket? That's a warning on the bucket. What milkshake ingredient has a warning on it? Then some other guy on Twitter goes, hey, that's just a warning for the bucket. It says a kid could fall in that bucket. They close up. And he's like, there's no cement in that. They're just making a milkshake. And I'm like, if these people were actually motivated to do good, they could do good.
Right. Yeah.
Like if they actually wanted to do something good,
Yeah.
they all show up. They can make a lot of milkshakes.
Mm-hmm.
How about making sandwiches and distributing them
Right.
to people that don't have them?
Yeah.
I bet, like, nobody does that. If you suggest to any of these people that they show up to a homeless shelter or a soup kitchen, they'll look at you like you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about? I just want to go slap up a journalist to protect everybody from Hitler. And
Yeah.
you're like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
What are you even saying?
Oh,
I want to go burn down some new condo development to fight gentrification. Okay. Have you ever helped anyone in your own family or a friend who
Yeah.
was hurting? They're like, what?
Yeah.
It's hard to take these people seriously.